If you want to get back with your ex, there are 7 questions you need to ask yourself, 7 key questions you need to, in this video, I want it to be very practical, so I'll explain you how it works in a minute. Jiggle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So how this video works, again, very practical. I know a lot of people are watching videos, they want to learn, but they fail the practicality. In this one, I'm going to try something new. I'll put a link in the description where you'll have all the questions in a Google Doc, or I don't know which format I will use, that you can print or save on your computer and really spend, half an hour to really answer those questions and see what would be the next step. Because a lot of people I know, you're watching, you're listening, you're reading. Now it's about you writing, right? So feel free to use this workbook. And if you want to, if you're about to speak with someone, whether it's myself, someone in my team, or your psychologist, your therapist, whoever, you can use this as a framework to structure the conversation and potentially sort of go a bit faster. Because I know a lot of my clients, they see a psychologist or they've seen someone. The problem with psychologists is they don't necessarily have a structure, because you see them to feel better, not necessarily to get back with an ex. So if you want to steer the conversation a little bit to where you want to go, you can use those questions. First one, am I having trouble moving past this because of something in my past? Typical question you need to ask yourself, especially if you feel bad, depressed, anxious about this breakup. It's obviously a very complex question to answer, something that would value being discussed with a therapist. But also, maybe you can start, reflecting on this, about the past relationship. What is the difference between this one and your past relationship? What made it different? The meaning, I find it consistently that people struggle detaching or moving on or healing from a breakup because of the meaning this relationship had to them. I'll explain you next slide the thinking about or the aspect of the storytelling and why it's important to deconstruct those things if you want to feel better, if you want to also not only move on but find out how you can create a healthier relationship with your ex. Second one, what's my attachment style? I don't know, but recently I've seen a lot of people who saw psychologists who are not really familiar with attachment style when it comes to relationship. So perhaps you've watched some of my videos and I talk about avoidant and anxious attachment style. If you're not familiar with that, have a look. I'll probably put a video somewhere here. But it's very important for you to understand those mechanisms, because sometimes that's what explains why your ex reacted in a certain way, because of their fear of commitment or their fear of abandonment. And you might be thinking that they don't love me. It's just a question of them struggling with their attachment. And so sometimes the clash is not about love or feelings, it's about the attachment. So very important for you to understand what's your attachment style, the things you need to adjust in your communication, in your behavior, if you want to make it work with your partner. Perhaps you don't want to be with someone who is insecure and want to seek someone more secure. So it's very important for you to have a better understanding of those things and try to work at being more secure, because that's the aim. Not only to how you can communicate with your ex, but also for yourself, how to be more secure. If you don't know anything about attachment style, I'll probably put a link in the description or a link to another video somewhere here. What was it about this relationship that had such an impact on me? We discussed about the meaning before. Sometimes a relationship we feel, it's because of him. He is the one, that's the person, that's the dream persona that I fell for. Sometimes, and if we dig, usually not very deep, but if we dig, it's also about the meaning. At this stage in my life, I wanted to find the father of my kids. At this stage in my life, I wanted to find someone after my divorce, a companion. I was seeking for companionship and he was there, and he was the total opposite of my husband, and thought like that's the person I was always dreaming dating. So really reflect on those things, whether it's the person, whether it's the relationship, what it meant for you in your life at this stage. Fourth one, what can I learn about myself from this breakup? You know, the famous thing about we don't fail, we learn. It's the same in relationship, in breakups, obviously. That's what we are doing. So well done. You're watching videos, trying to learn, trying to gain something from this breakup. So virtual high five to you. The idea is to gain perspective without judgment. And it's very easy to be either hard on yourself or deny things. You, I guess, by watching videos, you're not the one who would deny things, saying like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine, it's just my ex's fault. You're trying to learn, you're trying to grow, and it's amazing. So what are the things you could learn, either in your new relationship, either about how you communicated with your ex, the different things, how you reacted to certain things, also looking at the evolution of the relationship, what has been different from the start, the first 6 months, the first 2 years, to the end of the relationship, what has changed, what did you do differently, and how you can learn, what were the sort of key milestones that made the relationship and your partner drift apart. Fifth one, how can I enhance my relationship skills, communication, conflict resolution, expressing your needs. So it's something that you, it's not necessarily seeing a psychologist to do that, but someone who would be a relationship counselor who could help you, coach you on how you could communicate with your ex. It's, for example, something that I do with my clients on WhatsApp. When they're in touch with their ex or when they want to prepare or debrief a date that they've had, I can, give them some guidelines and coach them and really help them have a perspective and a clear and, in a way, expert opinion of what they should say and not say. And it's very important because if you think about why people break up, 90% of the time it's communication. Of course, communication is the outcome of something that happened, but if you nail communication, you've done most of the job. Number 6 is how can I choose a different type of partner in the future? Sometimes it's the temptation that we have. It didn't work with my ex who was, I don't know, workaholic, didn't spend time with the kids and so on and so forth. So I'm going to date someone completely different. The point is really about finding the security. And I know a lot of rebound relationship, perhaps your ex is dating a rebound and you feel like, wow, he's or she's the complete opposite of me. Because when something doesn't work, we feel like, wait, I need to seek the opposite. That's not what you need to seek. You need to seek someone secure. Someone who would respect you, someone who will understand you, someone who would be able also to communicate with you in a more transparent way, expressing their needs, expressing what they want, listening to you. There's also an element of when we have this mindset of I need to, find someone completely different, the confidence that you will find that person. Because I know a lot of my, especially female clients, I feel like, I've dated so many bad guys, do good guys really exist? Does it really happen? Because I see on dating apps, it's always the same guys, they're wasting my time, they don't want to commit, and so on and so forth. So it's really about the confidence aspect. And this particular thing about, are there good guys out there? Yes. The question is really about how you convey yourself, how you also choose your partner. So sometimes it's hard to choose the right people because you would be drawn to the wrong persons. So it's something you can also discuss with a therapist or a relationship counselor. And the 7th one, what's the plan? What's the plan? What should I do? What should I say? Important to find someone in your team, to find a teammate, to guide you along the way. So not only to listen, as I said, some therapists, they are great listeners, they are trained to be listeners, but they fail a psychologist, there's no roadmap. The idea is for you to feel better. I have sort of two hats where I know you want results. I know it needs to be around the action. However, don't be tempted when you see things online, like, this guide will give your ex back in 30 days. It doesn't work. I wish it could. It would be so easier, and people like me wouldn't have a job, by the way. But it would be so much easier. It takes a little bit more complexity because human beings are very complex. So the plan, yes, there are things you could be doing, there are things you should not be doing, and it's always better to have this knowledge with you. my point and my method, because I haven't really managed to do it in another way, and I don't think it's possible, is to really set some, short-term goals and assess, depending on the response, depending on what's going on in your ex's life, in your life, in life generally, and assess and adjust. And that's it. If you want to really take action, if you want to ask those questions to me, there's a link in the description to have a call with me. We're launching and it's going to be released, if it's not released yet, a 3-month sort of program where for really people who are motivated, really people who want to change, who are serious about change, who are thinking about therapy for a long time, and they feel like, okay, today I need to take action. Today, new year, new me, I'm going to sort of make it happen. Have a look in the description. I will probably put a link somewhere there. It's limited because it takes a lot of my time and the person who works with me as well time. Any question, let me know in the comment section. Book a call with me to discuss or WhatsApp me, and I will see you next time. Bye.
For a long time, get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.